I finally finished it. Sorry for taking so long. Gonna be multiple posts, since it is pretty long. For context, this all happened in the Northwest Territories in like 2002. Closest town is around 30 miles away. Don't really know how to Greentext either. Hope it's fine. Be me, 19. Dad tells me Granddad died, and after a while we figure out he left me his old cabin. Think it's kinda weird cause we never really talked. Figure it's because we were the only really outdoorsy people in the family. Never actually went there, but Granddad lived there for a few years apparently. Super off-grid guy. Hated the government and loved the wilderness. Hardcore survivor type shit. Had a shit ton of guns. Served in Korea. Loved shooting. Left a note with the will for me about the cabin, location, etc. Surprises me when I go on Google Maps to check the cabin or see if I can see it. No path is visible, but the cabin is in a big ass field. Dad convinces me to head out there. Tells me that it would be fun and it would be great to do in remembrance. Figure I'll take some friends, since it's not that far away from where I live. Only a few hours drive. Finally get heading out that way with two buddies, Carter and Jay. I am poor, so all I can bring is an old ass Enfield that Granddad gave me from my first gun. Jay goes full Chinese LARP in some old fucking Mao Halloween cosplay with a Glock 45 for some reason. Carter is a little more normal, but still brings out some old .308 bolt action. Drive for about 3 hours from starting destination before we reach the old road to head to the cabin. Can hardly see cause nighttime and snow coming down. Literally only light is the headlights and the stars. No moon, nothing else. Finish the drive down the old dirt road and the cabin gets illuminated by the headlights. Place is way bigger than I figured it would be. Think a 2-story house in the suburbs, but cabin and wood made. Figure it's just an older picture, and Granddad did some renovation or something. Offload all of our shit and head inside. No power, just a few candles. Whatever. We brought a shit ton of lights and a generator in the back of the truck. Leave Jenny outside, gas it up, and start hooking up the lights. Get the inside of the house done in about 20 minutes. Decide that that's enough for the night. Only 2 bedrooms. Carter decides to sleep on the couch in the front room. Head to bed. Used to be my granddad's while Jay goes to the guest room. Room is dusty as fuck, but pretty comfy. Set all my shit up inside. Put all reliable Enfield up against the nightstand and head to bed. Switch off the lights and fall asleep. Wake up to Jay, still in full Chinese LARP gear in my room, shaking my shoulder. The fuck do you want? Anon, bruh. I just heard something crunching in the snow, and then the generator went off. Tell him it was probably just a coincidence. Oh fuck, there's totally a person out there. Think to myself it's probably someone fucking with us, or some hobo trying to get us to fuck off, so that he can sleep at the cabin. Ask him if he saw anything out of the window, since we placed the generator right outside his window. Fuck no. I'm not looking out my window when there is something out there. Call him a moron, and tell him to come turn the generator back on with me. I'm not going out there. Fuck that man. I'll wait till morning. Call him a pussy, and say I'll get Carter. Grab my rifle and flashlight, then head down to the living room to get Carter. Jay follows, since his room is downstairs. On my way down the stairs, and I swear, I hear something outside, crunching through the snow. Stop going down. Turn off my flashlight and sit still. Jay does the same. Dead, fucking quiet. Like, completely quiet. No wind, no buzzing, nothing. Freaked the fuck out. Sit for another 3 to 4 minutes in the silence before I swear I hear a fucking whoop outside. Not right outside, but in the distance. Jay whispers in my ear. You hear that too? I am shitting my pants, but manage to respond, yeah. hear something start moving downstairs. Nearly shit myself and turn my light back on while raising my rifle. Carter's standing there, aiming his rifle at the window. Fucker looks up at me, and he's doing the neck cut, stop what you're doing thing with his hand. I turn off my light. My eyes are beginning to adjust to see shapes. Can see Carter staring down his rifle's sights at the window. 5 or so minutes go by before I can see him lower his rifle. Turn my light back on. There is something out there, Anon. What did you just say? I couldn't sleep, so I've been watching movies when the generator went off. Seen someone go by the window. Someone? Was on 2 feet, I'm pretty sure. Seen it look in, and its eyes were at the top of the window. He doesn't realize the window is higher off the ground due to the foundation. Literally, like 6 feet off the ground. Would have to be like 8 to 9 feet to be at the top of the window. DEFCON 2. Aight, so are we turning the generator back on, or are we going back to bed? Try to explain that if there is a person out there, we should probably tell them to fuck off or something. Keep making up excuses to not go out. Fine, I'll do it myself. Trying to tell me not to go out, and that they are seriously freaked the fuck out. Ignore them and head for the door. Go to open it. Suddenly, I'm fucking terrified. Literally can't move. Break through whatever trance I'm in and bust that bitch open. Scan with rifle and light for about a second before I see something in the woods moving. Now, you have to understand that there was a solid 250 feet of field, and I had one of those fucking spotlight things. All it did was illuminate the tree line, and I seen it from 250 feet against the trees and snow. Fucker was pitch fucking black. Not dark, not gray, not dark. Like a fucking hole in the tree line into the abyss. You know that paint that's like void black or some shit? So dark it stands out even against other blackness. Kind of like that. Thing stops, and I see it crank its head towards me. Raise my rifle up to it. Have a scope, kinda like pic related. Not exactly, but similar. Can't take a picture of it since I lost it in a house fire. Look for scope. Heart fucking drops. Thing is moving towards me and has probably already crossed 75 feet. Boom. Thing stops dead in its tracks. Can see it way better now. Still void black, but can see it's some kind of weird fur. Eyes are yellowish from what I have seen. Looks like if Bigfoot got starved out in a Siberian gulag. Literally ape, but it's super fucking skinny. Like 8 feet tall. Thing looks back at me and lets out this fucking shriek. Not roar. Shriek. Can feel my fucking ears ring. Entire body freezes. Thing starts running towards me, like a half-life sprinter on all fours. Shitting my pants, trying to pull my bolt back. Can't pull my fucking bolt. I shit you not, this is what happened. Looking back on it, it is fucking hilarious, but in the moment, I probably gave my soul to Mao. Jay comes flying out the door in his full uniform and produces a Glock from his waist. Puts easily 10 shots downrange. Can see the fucking thing trip and roll. Carter is firing from window with rifle. Scramble my ass back through the door. Sounds like downtown Detroit. Thing screams and retreats back into the forest. Holy fucking shit, dude. Jay is checking me, since apparently I gashed my arm getting through the door. Carter is staring out the fucking window, glaring into the woods. Jay bandages my arm up, and we all sit in collective silence for about 15 minutes. Decide to block all the windows with random shit and barricade the door. Cue moving dressers and anything else big enough to block the windows to them, and moving a couch in front of the door. We all sit in the front room behind a flip table. Literally the terrorists out of the MW2 house raid if they knew 141 was coming. About an hour passes. Hear something come up to window beside us. Hear it move to the front door, Thing lets out this ungodly howl. Scares the shit out of all of us. Things go quiet for about 3 minutes, other than the sound of crumpling snow. Hear probably 2 to 3 more things go to door. Hear grunt. Things all start pounding on the fucking door. Jay stands up and fires 3 shots through the door. Another inhuman sound. All collectively decide to move upstairs to top of stairs. Set up at top of stairs. After about 30 minutes, the banging at the door stops. More screeching. Things screech off into the woods. All night long, these fuckers circle the cabin, screeching. All night fucking long. Sun starts coming up. Screeching fades into the woods. Complete silence for about 2 hours. I pass out from exhaustion. Apparently, Carter follows immediately after. Jay stays up. Fucker was overdosing on caffeine the whole time, cause fucker was making instant coffee with our hot plate. Wake up after approximately 3 hours sleep. Not sure if what happened was a dream or not. Sit in bed for like 5 minutes. Jay comes and knocks on the door and comes in. Talk for a while about what the fuck happened. Carter enters. Tells us we need to get the fuck out and get to the truck. Fuck that man. This is our property, and we need to kill these fucking things. Agree with Jay. Carter looks at us like we are stupid. These fucking things are going to kill us if we don't get the fuck out. Remind him that we're armed. Fuck's sakes, fine then. Give me a minute. Comes back like 2 minutes later with HK-41, G3, but semi-auto. You fucking had that and didn't use it? My bag was on the couch, and I really didn't want to go to the door. The fuck, man. Decide with newfound firepower to go outside and try to set up lights and traps. Set up the lights with no incident. Jay pulls out 3 fucking bear traps. Oh, we are in business now. Took them from his dad in case we went bear hunting. Why we would go bear hunting with no dogs or anything is beyond me. Set them up around the porch. Decide to stay on porch and fuck these things up. All set up on the porch. Decide to shoot some rounds out into the woods. We fire like 3 shots. Hear the fucking screech from the area I was shooting at. Fuckers were watching us. Decide that we can see them or something. Suddenly, 4 to 5 of the things start storming towards us. We open up like their landing craft at Normandy. I hit one in the chest and the fucker tumbles. Jay opens up with Glock at another that turns and runs back to where it came. Carter drops 2 more. One steps in a bear trap and pulls it 10 to 15 feet in one stride as it falls to the ground and gets lit up by me and Carter. Mission success. 5 casualties. I sweep tree line with scope. Looks clear. Approach the corpse of one of the things. Now for this. I rely on Jay and Carter's accounts of the story, as I am nose blind and my smeller don't work. Thing smells like fucking utter shit. Described as burning metal mixed with rotting flesh and the farts of all of China combined in one pack. Back to me. The one I dropped suddenly starts vibrating on the ground. Not like a washing machine, but like an epileptic kid at a rave. We all light the fucker up. Shaking stops. We debate heading home. Probably like 5 to 6 o'clock. Sun is pretty much down. Decide to spend one more night and go in the early morning. All bunker up in the front room and sleep in shifts. Fall asleep after mine and pass out immediately. Sleep for the night. Wake up in the morning. We all pack our shit, leave some stuff, and move some of the dressers back. Leave the others. Exit door. All the bodies are gone. All 5. Just gone. The tracks from them running up to us are still there, but whatever came and got them did not leave any. Decide to run to truck, since it's only like 50 feet from house. All of the windows are fucking smashed. The tail lights are just gone. Dented to all shit. One tire flat. Fuck it, let's go. Agree with Carter. I'll hop in. Turn the bitch on and put her in drive. Punch that shit out of there. Heading for Forest. Look in my mirror. Shit you not. Like 20 of the fuckers running after the truck. Oh fuck. Fucking shoot them. Carter and Jay make an ISIS Toyota chase look like a joke with the amount of lead going down range. Drop probably like 3 to 4 of them, while going like 120 kilometers per hour down the fucking shitty gravel road. They aren't quite as fast, but they are keeping up. Scared as shit. Breach turn off and get on highway. Increase speed to like 175. I shit you not. The truck felt like it was going to explode. Things don't follow us onto the highway. Drive like 10 minutes at 150 into town. Get pulled over by the fucking one cop on the highway. Everyone freaks the fuck out and tries to hide the guns. The fuck do you think you're doing going that fast on the fucking highway? It is icy as fuck out here. Try to explain to him what just happened. Expect to get arrested for being high. Cop gets real quiet. You know my granddad, don't you? Yeah, he was my grandpa. Cop looks back. Cop looks back at us. I'll get it dealt with. Get it all cleaned up for you. I'll give you a call when it's all done. What the fuck? Yes, sir. Tells us to get out of town. Says they follow scent, and cops don't want people to get freaked out by them. Agree. Drive at more moderate speeds all the way out of the province, only stopping once for gas. Head back home, and we all get out at our hangout spot. Discuss what the fuck just happened. Retell the story from every single point of view about 12 times. Agree not to tell anyone. We split up. I head home. Open door, announcing I'm back. Hear Dad call my name. I got a call. Oh. Dad starts basically crying. Oh God. I am so sorry I didn't tell you about them. I thought they had left that area years ago. Try and get him to tell me what they were. Refuses to tell me. Tells me that the government will be dealing with it. Literally the first time I've ever heard him say anything positive about the government ever. Sleep. I got the call from that same cop a few weeks later, and he told me that the cabin had to be replaced. Replaced? Tells me they have to replace the entire fucking cabin every few years to prevent the things from returning to the same area. Tells me it's in the same place, but completely different now. Only one floor, but pretty long. Explains that Granddad used to help deal with things. Explains to me that Granddad used to help the government kill things that like to kill people. Tells me the things are called, I shit you not, voids, because of how void and dark the color of their skin is. Also feels the need to tell me they aren't human. No shit. Wishes me good luck in future endeavors. Return the wish. He hangs up. That was all 20 years ago. Telling story for the first time now, due to wanting to not only get it off my chest, but also just wanting to get opinions on it. Sorry if it was too long. I earnestly don't believe it was Bigfoot, or skinwalkers, or Wendigo, and that it was something far less known entirely. I have only been back to the cabin twice. Once with the same two, NGF, and once all on my own. The cabin was completely different, both times. Okay X, let's get this over with. I have been debating whether to tell this story for a while now. I speak English with an apology, as it is not my first language. I live in a country called Georgia. After school is over one summer, I and several of my friends decided to go out of town for a bit to have a bit of adventure and travel. The weather is beautiful and can be a very hot summer in Georgia, so I and my friends, 7 of them altogether, were enjoying long walks. The first few days, it was so much fun. Drink and smoke, and we were laughing, and everybody's having fun. However, we have a friend called Alex, and we were going with that crazy little man. Not a bad man, but he is not afraid of anything. One night, we were camping in the forest clearing. It is getting dark, so we will all go and get some more firewood, and I and my friend Locab a knife, and go to cut the sticks. We are there because we have been drinking for a while, and we got a bit lost. I and my friend are very frightened, and hear rustling in the woods. This is a very dark, to find out what it is exactly, but it was coming closer. I call out, and out comes running Alex, trying to scare us. We laugh it off and say yes, I was so scared, and I almost cut him. He said that our friends have not seen us for a while and came to find us because they are a little worried about us. As he speaks, the smell hits me like a punch in the face. I am almost vomiting and ask him why he smells so bad. He tells me that on the way back, he wants to show us something, so we walked back, and I am still confused as to why it smells so bad. After about a 10-minute walk, we arrive at what looks like a former bunker. Again, the smell hits me in the stomach, worse than what Alexi smells like. Tears came to my eyes, and asked if Alexi came here. He said he did, but even he was scared and went to find us so that we could come back with him. Locab is looking at me and says that he is not comfortable, but I want him around because he has the knife and is a very strong man. We enter this bunker, and it is so dark and so cold, but it is also completely silent. The smell is getting worse because we are on our way to the bunker, and in the end, I have to take off my shirt and cover my nose and mouth to stop the smell. As I take off my shirt and wrap it around my face, one of my friends pushes me to the ground, and I know they run off laughing. I get up and I see them nowhere, but still hear them laughing in the distance. I do not see very well. I, for my part, in the dark, and start trying to find a way back. As I was feeling along the wall, I feel my turn to go through something soft. My eyes focus on the dark, and I just vomit everywhere. I just stuck my hand into the eye of the dead man. I look at it further and try to work out why he died, and I can see that around the neck, there is a dent. I am so confused because I do not see the rope to hang themselves. I understand that this was the bad smell that I had been smelling all along. I just try and get back and try and decide not to kill my friends. Locab still had the knife. So, I'm just in a bunker. It's pitch black, and I am calling out to my friends. As I was screaming their names, I hear something. I stop for a moment, and it is completely silent, and so I ignore it. I walk a few steps, and I hear it again. At this time I was really scared, and just start running. I can still hear the noise. I trip and fall over, and the noise stops. I am scared. I get up and hear the shuffling. It is at this point I realize that noise going on at the same time. I am moving. I take another step in the dark, and yes, I understand the two step. One of mine, one of someone else's. I spin around and look behind me. I cannot see very far in the distance, but I do not see anyone at all. I take a step back. A moment later my step lands. I hear something else's move on the ground. I was almost crying at this point. Suddenly, I feel a drip on my shoulder. My shirt off and wrapped around my face. I touched it, and it is sticky, but it is still wet. I am stunned and just stand there for a minute. In the distance, I hear footsteps, and I think it's my friends, and turn around and take a step forward. This step is the worst I've ever taken in my life. I felt cold, wet rope tighten around my neck. I walked straight into a noose, and felt being cut up in the air. Now I can hear laughter. Open your mouth and try to laugh. That is what it sounded like. I looked up at the roof, and see what haunts me still to this day. I can see the outline of what looks like a short, bald man. He was naked, and he is the head of a body. But where his legs start is the mass, and then 4 or 5 small stumpy legs sprouting out. How he had been gripping on the roof I do not know. I understand that it was his footsteps that have been chasing me. A great big tongue hangs out of his mouth, and it came down and wrapped around my neck. I try to pull it off, but the more I pull, the more it tightens and yanks me up. I am not sure whether it is laughing or I just got closer, but it gets louder and louder. My eyes grow dim, and I cannot fight anymore, and I start to piss myself as a little girl. All of a sudden, I hear this terrible screaming, and I let loose. I heard the footsteps of others before getting stopped up. Locab was making his way back because he only wanted to scare me, and I will drop badly because I come from him. He brought the knife and cut the monster's tongue, and I saw it scuttle off, screaming and crying across the ceiling. I ran with Locab and leave the bunker. I am so scared. To this day, I do not know what it was, and I do not want to go back. I gathered all my things and left the camp and walked back the same day, Locab and knife. It was 12 years ago. Since then I have never spoken to Alexei again, and Locab took his own life last June. I am only writing the story because my therapist told me that it would be good to write it down, and it's off my chest. My friends say that he went back to the cave for a year, but because they are so close to the road, and it is guarded by the military security forces, I went to try it recently, but it seems to have been blocked off. I can still feel it in my neck at night sometimes, X. It is so cold. Rent a cabin with the gang. Like 12 of us in total. 7 guys, 5 girls. I was with girl 1. Bro 2 was with girl 2. And so on and so forth. Girl 5 had been dating Hercules, but cheated on him with Paris and Hessen. I don't know what they saw in her, but it always bothered me that it was an open secret that only Hercules was not in on. We didn't treat him the way we should have. French Parisian bro, 5'2", skateboards all day. Very whiny and always finding something to complain about. We'll call him Paris. Prussian/French bro, 6'1" to 6'2", blonde hair, blue eyes, claims descent from the von Hessen family. We'll call him Hessen. Greek bro, he is a character and a half, 6'4", long hair and thick beard, certified genius and dyslexic. Claims descent from some Byzantine dynasty. Claims an aunt of his married the king or prince of Greece during World War I. Claims to have seen Jesus or visions from God twice, and this was before he smoked or did shrooms. 1,000-yard stare. Had the nickname Hercules because he would do shit that would need 3 people and wouldn't even break a sweat. Super shy and kind, and would go out of his way to help people, and you would not ever think he'd be able to hurt a fly. And for the most part, that's true. He could never hurt an innocent person. But when it comes to people who weren't innocent, he would go apeshit. Bananas, if you will. One time he catches a guy trying to assault a girl in an alley. The man tried to threaten Hercules with a knife. Before the guy finished his threat, Hercules had taken out a metal car hook from his jacket pocket and knocked the guy's teeth out in one punch. Why is bro giving him an anime backstory? We get to the woods, and everyone is wearing normal clothing and maybe a hiking stick. Not Hercules. He has a clock, a Phrygian cup, and a handmade walking staff with a dangling cross and holy water. He also has a sword under his cape thing. He always went all out when he got the chance. He looks like a cross between a Christian Gandalf and a giant Greek gnome. Oh, and I almost forgot, his mom openly claims to be a witch. Hercules hates witches and witchcraft. Walking to cabin when we see like 4 people in robes off the trail. They're hiding behind some bushes and watching from a distance. We start speed walking, but we can see them every now and again following us. Hercules screams at them, asking if they're okay or needed help. They just smile and laugh at us, and one of them pulls out a sickle. Hercules laughs, pulls out his sword and screams. Friendly reminder, swords are longer than sickles. When I tell you Hercules is not afraid of shit, I mean he isn't afraid of jack shit. He's been chased by everything from mountain goats to human traffickers. This guy will take magic mushrooms and watch horror movies. Not even doing this at night scares the guy. Anyway, the 4 guys in robes just back into the woods, and we think we scared them off. We get to the cabin and all looks normal. Hercules and the rest of the guys, along with some of the girls, start taking bong rips on the cabin porch. Hercules normally smokes around 1 to 2 ounces of weed a week, but brought 2 ounces for the weekend, since we would be a group. No matter how much Hercules smokes, he's sober. Night comes around, and we are all drunk and high. All of a sudden we hear a bang at the door. We look out the window, but it's pitch black outside. Hercules, backed by me, Hessen, and Guy 2 and 3, open the door to find a squirrel with its throat cut and a note with a rubber band around it. If there is one way to make Hercules lose his shit, it's animal abuse. It's one thing to hunt, but this was a message. Hercules tries looking at what's on the note, but it's in Latin. Hercules is a polyglot. Hessen also knows a little Latin, but not much. Most of the letter is covered in blood, but they say it looks like a curse, or some shit like that. Paris, in the kitchen area with Guy 4 and the girls, is pissing himself, while trying to put on this fake tough persona for the girls. Hercules puts back on his gear, now with one of those flashlight headbands, and starts running out of the cabin, and at what looked like a shadow that then started running from Hercules. As the guy runs, Hercules is picking up rocks and whipping them at the guy, with the accuracy of a competition sniper. Robed Shadow Guy is basically dancing as he runs and gets hit. 3 more robed figures jump out of the bushes and start running at Hercules. Hercules whips a rock at one of the robed figures, hits them in the face, instant KO. Pulls out his sword and some tiny shield that only really covers his hand. Starts slashing into the dark and ends up cutting off someone's hand, and what looks like an axe falls. When the robed figure curls over their hand, Hercules grabs them by the back of their head and knees them in the face. The one with the sickle actually managed to get their weapon stuck in the small shield, and Hercules just grabbed the guy by the ears and started smashing his head into the guy's face repeatedly, and just lets him go, dropping him like a rag doll. We were all stunned in amazement that this guy single-handedly took down these cultists or whatever they were, as if he was the fucking Doom guy. Hercules just walks back into the cabin and starts asking if we are okay. Of course the girls are freaking out and want to leave. Paris is also being a little whiny bitch and wants to leave. Not because he thinks that's the best, but because that's what the girls want. Most of the guys are trying to convince them to stay, at least until morning. Hercules doesn't really see a difference, as he doesn't think they'd come back, but says that if we do leave, we have to stay in a tight group. It's about a 20-minute walk, or 15 of speed walking. We decide to try and make a run for it. We leave as a group all huddled together, and Hercules screams into the night, "If I see you following us, I'll fucking kill you where you stand. This is your only warning." We did go to the Royal Mounted Police the next day, and told them almost everything. Left out the sword fight, but told them about the robed figures with weapons and the squirrel. They accused us of being high or drunk or whatever that came to their mind. We went back to the cabin with the cops, and they said to drop it, otherwise they would arrest us. They don't believe us. They think we accidentally burned down the cabin and made up the story. The cabin was fine when we left that night. There was no hands or weapons, just splatter and pools of dry blood. The cops did not even acknowledge the blood, or the obvious cuts and bruises all over us from running through the woods at night, or any of the evidence that Hercules had been in a fight. My face went. We almost got murdered by some cult in the woods, but our teddy bear friend is still as savage as a real bear. Honestly, I still miss the guy. Haven't heard from him since he found out about his GF, and who he thought were his friends.